Recently I've been buying some cards from CEX of the HD 500 series, so these are GTX 500 series cards. Initially went on the website, saw that GTX 580s were 20 quid, and then it's kind of spiraled from there, as you'll see. So initially I have three GTX 580s wanted from 4-way SLI. So I ordered one from CEX thinking I'd get a reference card, a blower style one to add in the 4-way configuration, a nice 2 slot. And anyway, they actually sent me this here, which is a ASUS DCUII version, which I was quite pleased with. But it isn't very good for 4-way SLI, so I thought I'd just show you it quickly. So it's a triple slot card, as you can see from the back here. It's got enough ports for I think 4 displays, and I've also bought a second one when it came back in stock again, because initially there was 3 listed in stock and I only bought one thinking I'll just get one blower card and that'll be fine because I didn't want loads. So I bought one, got a DCUII, and then I went to buy another and they were all out of stock. So I asked for a stock notification when they came back in stock, and then I've bought another one as soon as it came back in stock, and yeah, I've got another one, another DCUII, so that's pretty funny. So I'll just show you quickly around the PCB. Both cards have got Samsung memory chips. The GTX 580 has a lid, so that's why the die looks massive. It's not actually big, it's got a lid like a CPU has. Both of these cards have back plates, and they are obviously a custom PCB. You can see it's wider than a standard card, and obviously the heatsink is much bigger. It's got dual 8-pin, and you can see it's got a nice meaty VRM, which is great because the GTX 580s have a very weak VRM. So if you wanted to voltage mod them or increase the voltage in software, the VRMs can blow up, and these ASUS cards have a really nice VRM. These aren't matrix cards like I've had in the past obviously, but they're still a nice PCB. You can also see the heatsink. It's got 5 pipes, direct contact obviously for your DCUII, and 2 fairly meaty fin stacks. It also has two fans obviously, and they're pretty deep fans as well. One of the cards does 960 megahertz on the core, and the other only does 930. Now another thing I picked up recently was this little device here, which is a Elmore EVC2S, and what this does is it basically, you can connect it to a voltage controller and then control the voltage of the card directly through a separate PC through this little USB header here. It's Type C, and you plug it into another PC, open up the software, and you can actually control the voltage. And the voltage controller on these DCUIIs is actually supported, so I could run this little device here and voltage mod one of these cards. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to keep the better one for now and test out this little EVC2S with it, and obviously the slower one, probably going to stick it on eBay with some ASUS tax, and I'm going to buy another one from CEX for hopefully 20 quid when they come back in stock again, and hopefully I'll get a blower card. Now at the same time I was looking at the GTX 580, I thought, well, look how much other 500 series cards are, because the 580, 20 quid, it's a pretty good deal compared to what they're going to on eBay. So I looked at the 570, I've already got one of those, a gigabyte SoC, and they were like 25 quid, not a great deal. So I thought, what about a pair of 560 Ti's? I can run those in SLI. So I got 2 560 Ti's. As you can see here, this is the first one I got. This was, I think, £18, maybe a bit less. ASUS DCUII again, so pretty lucky on that part. It has just an extruded aluminium heatsink on this left hand side, and then on the right hand side it has a normal like heatsink with the heat pipes in. 2 fans again, 2 6-pin connectors, and this has a single SLI finger, so you can only run 560 Ti's in SLI. And let me just get the model number for you here. There it is. So yeah, pretty nice custom PCB again, obviously not very wide, but this cooler does a decent job of keeping the card cool. So yeah, it's not too bad. Next one I got was a palette GTX560 Ti. This is a reference card, so it came with this tiny little cooler, and you can see I've taken it off. You can see how small it is. It's very thin, only got 2 heat pipes. Just compare that to the ASUS card there. So this heatsink is about half the size of the ASUS one, and the ASUS one has 3 heat pipes. It also only has this one tiny little fan. So what I went and did was, it does have a square bolt pattern. Originally I was going to try the ASUS heatsink on the Zotac, but unfortunately on the DCUII it has a oblong bolt pattern, which you can see there. So I couldn't fit the DCUII heatsink on the Zotac for testing, and the Zotac was getting too hot for me to max out the voltage in Afterburner. Afterburner allows you on these cards to go to 1.15 volts, and I could only get to 1.05, and it was already hitting 81 degrees with the fan on 100% and everything. This card I can run about 75-76 degrees with the fans on 100%, with the voltage fully up to 1.15. So at first I tried a G-lid heatsink from a 660 Ti, and that didn't really fit. So in the end I went with the Arctic Mono Plus off an RX 480 that I had, and as you can see it works pretty well. You can see this is a reference PCB. It is quite a bit smaller than the ASUS PCB, but obviously the heatsink is now massive. Now it doesn't contact the full lid on top of the die, because you can kind of see that the copper block is smaller than the lid area on the die. However, it does a little bit of a better job of cooling than the stock cooler. It can go up to like 1.1 volts now, and yeah, it fits pretty well. You can see how close it is near the DVI port there. So yeah, it's a pretty good fit. So I got both of these. I've already run them in SLI. Just stick the fan on 100% on that one, 100% on that one, and run them as fast as they'll go after testing them individually. You can see the VRM on this one here. It's pretty weak, and it's also got dual 6-pin though, so yeah, 560 Ti's perform pretty well. So this was the final purchase from CEX for now. After the success of getting DCUII cards and 2 fairly decent 560 Ti's and the 580s, for I have a EVGA classified 560 Ti 488 edition, so I'll get a couple more 488 editions. There are 3 in stock. They support up to 3-way SLI. I already have one, so I ordered 2. Unfortunately, I got a notification saying that they only could pick one because they didn't have any in stock other than one. So Anyway, this is the one I got, and it is an MSI Power Edition, so I'm pretty pleased about that. You can see here on the label, MSI 448 Twin Frozer 3 Power Edition and OC as well, and you can see it's got some pretty decent capacitoring on the back. VRM isn't terrible, and it's got a pretty nice heatsink on the Twin Frozer 3 heatsink, so it does a pretty good job of cooling. This is based on the GTX570 core rather than the 560 Ti, so it's more like a cut down 570 than the 560 Ti, so this is pretty quick. It overclocks really well. It can actually beat, when this is fully overclocked, it can beat a 580 at stock speed. So yeah, it goes pretty damn well, to be honest. It's quicker than my classified one as well. So yeah, it's a pretty nice card. Dual 6-pin again, and 2 SLI connectors. So I do want another one of these. I'm going to run it in 2-way with my EVGA classified one for now. But I haven't done that yet. I've only tested it as a single card. Ports on the back, 2 DVI and a mini HDMI. It also came with the protector thing for the slot as well, the slot cover, and it does, being a MSI Power Edition card, have dual BIOS switch just there, and it does have a silent and performance mode. That doesn't really affect much other than the fan speed as far as I can see. The clock speeds and voltage limits and such are all the same. So yeah, it's a pretty decent haul of graphics cards over the past couple of weeks. Got the 560 Ti's, a couple of 580s and a 560 Ti 488, so I just need one more of these, hopefully one more 580 that's not a massive card, but I've had a good time testing them all over the past couple of weeks, and yeah, pretty decent collection, and some decent models as well. Normally from CEX you just get a load of reference cards and blower ones, and out of 5 cards that I've bought, only the Zotac one is a sort of a reference design card. So yeah, pretty pleased. So there we go, there's a shot of them all together. Got effectively 5 GPUs here for less than 100 quid, and all of them pretty decent. Definitely upped my GTX500 series game. I'm also on the lookout for a pair of 550 Ti's as well, but unfortunately they only have one in stock, and I really want to, because I like doing SLI with these older cards. All of these have got SLI fingers on them, so I like to test a single card but then use them in SLI. So yeah, that is it for this one. Goodbye.